Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AndrewChicken, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be showing you everything that we know so far about the brand new PTS coming out for Season 6, which has a very ugly Vivian skin and the same background so far, because of course the PTS isn't finished. It's the PTS, but there is a lot of stuff here to cover, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, of course, something you'll notice almost immediately upon entering the PTS is that the UI has been updated. Some of it looks good, some of it looks bad, and honestly, I'm not sure how to feel about it. This store actually does look pretty interesting. A lot of this UI design gives me, like, mobile vibes. Like, the buttons are bigger, and it just seems like something you would see more in a mobile game. And, yeah, I mean, I like some of the, like, more visual representations of stuff here, but at the same time, it's just like, it's kind of weird. And yeah, also, something very important. Very, very important. There are new avatars from the Dan the Bros like Chibi collection. We have Rom here. We have Drogo's finally. Drogo's got his first avatar. And of course, the most important one of all, there's an Eevee one. Finally. It's so beautiful. I love it. So, very, very important. Make sure you buy those as soon as they come out. While we're here, we can also take a look at the ranked borders, and I can point out how I got scammed. As you guys know, for the past basically month, I have been hard stuck Diamond 2, yet, for some reason, it gave me the Season 5 Platinum border. Why? I don't know, but I guess I'm Platinum now, so yay. And yeah, we can see the rest of the borders over here in the loading frames part of the accessories part of the store, where they have a clearly unfinished UI because the loading borders are kind of cutting off with this word square thing. It's just, it's very weird. But yeah, we can take a look at the rest of the borders are down here, and it looks like Hi-Rez has kept true to their trend of making sure that every season's borders are worse than the last. These are just as uninspired, bland, and boring as last season's, but they're even more incoherent. This is the gold one. This is the diamond one. Then we have down here the Masters one and the Grandmasters one. There's not even really that much of an apparent theme. I guess it's sort of pyre themed, but it just doesn't really look like much of anything at all. I'm not a fan. I'm going to stick to my Season 2 border, because the Season 2 border is the best one that I have. Unfortunately, I was not even playing ranked that much in Season 1, so I never got one of those borders. But yeah, Season 1, Season 2 are still the best. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. Also, we can see the commendation frame, which actually looks pretty cool, but it also looks like it doesn't lay over top of the thing properly. You can see the black box peeking through, so hopefully that's fixed. I don't actually know what it looks like to equip this regularly, but I'm sure it'll be fixed by the time it reaches live. We can also, of course, check out some of the skins. I'm not going to be going super into detail on the skins in this video because it's 11:36 when I'm recording this. I've streamed for most of the day, and I'm recording this video for you, and I've got so much content to make over the weekend, and I'll showcase all of these skins in their own separate videos eventually, but for now, I'm just going to give you a brief overview. So we have Doombringer Saris. Saris is getting another skin because apparently she didn't have enough. And honestly, even though it is sad that Saris is getting another skin, this is a really good looking skin. Like, I love the vibe. I love the aesthetic of this skin. And yeah, honestly, no real complaints here. It's a lot better than some of our other skins. Like, the texture quality and model quality and all that are far better than some of the skins she has, like Madam, which is admittedly a good design, but, you know, very bland on the texture and model front, and very low quality, at least in terms of, like, the polygons, texture quality, stuff like that. And it's, you know, it's better, I would say personally, than some of the skins like Salem, which just don't really look that good in my opinion, like that one, or Salamender. I mean, Salamander's okay, but I think this one is in the top half of her skins. And the recolor, of course, is Flamebringer, which is kind of a more orange version of this skin. Very, very nice. Next up, we have a Sati skin that confuses the crap out of me because, it's weird. Definitely some horny bait going on here. Has a very lovely purple gun. This looks amazing in first person. You'll have to trust me on that, though, because I'll be making a video on that eventually, but for now you just get kind of this third person view. She has, like, weird abyssal bat wings going on back here, but then she has, like, I thought they were bunny ears. Now that I think of it, they're probably more like bat ears, but they just look kind of weird. And yeah, also, unfortunately, the skin still uses the default coin and the default decoy. I believe Sequin has a different coin, right? No, I believe one of these skins at least, though, has, like, different decoys, but it's just the problem in general with Sati skins that they don't have unique decoys and coins, and it kind of frustrates me. I guess it's par for the course for Sati, but frustrating just in general. And the recolor, which for some reason I can't use on the PTS, is this objectively better recolor. I love this color palette. Black and red, it's classic, and it looks very, very good. Although, again, I don't get the ears. I don't like the ears. I'm not a fan. Yeah, Not a fan of the ears, man, but yeah, Sati skin also in the event. The event pass. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes I just randomly burp. You do it too, I'm sure. Shut up, don't judge me. Anyways, next up we have probably the most exciting skin of the update, because it's a skin for a character who has not gotten a skin in 4 years, and I was right on the money with this skin. I believe this is the ranked reward, and yeah, it is a Pip skin. So I was completely right with that prediction. I, of course, didn't really know what theme it was going to be, but this theme absolutely works with Pip. It's another kind of steampunk skin, very much similar to Clockwork Torvald, and also the Steam Demon Andro skin. So it's very nice to see that theme come into the game again. This is a very British skin, and he is very upbeat, very chipper, very happy, and it totally fits him, honestly. It fits Pip as a skin concept. The voice pack nails the general silly skin, the generally silly vibe of this skin, and it's just very nice. It also has Realm Royale chickens as the chickens, which is kind of a neat little shout out to that game. And so, very nice skin. I will be very excited to pick this up for Pip, because it's a very fine addition to his collection, especially coming off of the travesty that is his Mustard Man gold skin. It's very nice and refreshing to get something of this quality. But unfortunately, all the quality went to the Pip skin, and so we're left with whatever this absolute mess of a Vivian skin is. This is an epic skin, by the way, an epic exclusive skin on the same level, according to Paladins rarity, as Student of Magic, Omega, and Novice. And Daywalker, by the way. And yeah, this has the default voice pack, default visual effects and sound effects for the weapon and all of her abilities. The only real difference here is the model, which of course is unique, but it looks horrible. Like, genuinely, it looks horrible. Like, the texture quality, of course, yeah, it's fine. You know, the belt looks shiny, that's all well and good. But, like, this theme sucks. And also, something I don't get is why they didn't use the full throttle voice pack. This voice pack would fit the skin so much better than default Vivian's voice pack, but yeah. At least the weapon is somewhat cool. Kind of 50s car looking thing. It's Vivian. Listen, Vivian's just depressing. Let's just move on and get out of here. Let's move on to our final skin, which is unfortunately another skin that has some default cosmetics attached to it, even though, just like all these beautiful skins like Omega Koga, it is classified as an epic exclusive skin. This skin uses the default voice pack, and it's also just got a recolor of the default SMGs. Admittedly, it seems like with a bit more blades on it. Actually, no, they are a little bit different looking. They're very similar, but actually they are a tiny bit different, but they still have like default sound effects, and of course it does have the default voice pack. You can kind of preview it here.
Lesson 2. Use every
it's
tool
just Koga.
to your advantage.
So, yeah, it looks very nice, though. I will admit, this is a very sick skin concept. Very cool aesthetic. But just like Mayhem Vatu, I'm very disappointed that there's no voice pack. It would be another, or not Mayhem Vatu, excuse me. Mayhem is beautiful. Abyss Cultist, I meant. Just like Abyss Cultist, I'm very disappointed that it doesn't have a voice pack. You can imagine what sort of sick, grotesque voice pack could match this skin, and also what beautiful, amazing daggers could match this skin. But no, it's an amazing opportunity just foregone for the sake of being cheap. At least this one is listed as rare, so it kind of makes sense, but the Koga and the Vivian skins, I feel like they should be listed as rare too, if you're not going to include the voice pack and the visuals for them, because that's just kind of lame. Also, something that's very lame, Caspian still does not have a skin. There's not even an excuse for it at this point. Like, genuinely, there is none. It's not like it's Yagharoth. Yagharoth I can understand, she's hard to model. This is just a femboy. It's not that hard to model. You make skins for Androxus all the time, and you make skins for Ceres all the time. Just merge the two, and that's Caspian with a sword and a pistol. Like, I don't get what's so hard about making a Caspian skin. Poor guy is just getting left in the dust, and honestly, it's very disappointing. And also something that's very disappointing is there are no gold skins. No gold skin.
Fernando.
No gold skin. No gold skin. No gold skin.
Oh, hey. It's me.
Yeah, it's me, but it's not a gold skin. And, no gold skin is in. No gold skin. Good morning, my beauty. It's just disappointing. It's just very disappointing. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed with the skins this patch. With the exception of the Pip skin, and maybe with the exception of the Sarah skin, although I wish that Sarah's didn't get a skin and I wish someone else got a skin, I'm kind of disappointed. Koga is really close to being a not disappointing skin, if only it had like a custom voice pack. Vivian is just a complete failure. And Sati, I mean, honestly, I just don't really like Sati that much, to be totally honest. I don't think Sati really has a good skin, like just in general. I absolutely don't like Blake. It's bland and I don't like it. Crimson Tide is just weird. Like, really, really weird. She has a lot of nice pistols, but that's it. And even her gold skin isn't that great. Because, alright, hear me out, the gold on her pistol completely does not match the gold on her jacket, completely does not match the gold on her coin, completely does not match the gold on her boots. That just ruins it for me, honestly. It really does. Enough rambling on about skins, let's talk about Nyx. That's not default Nyx, that's default Nyx. This is Nyx, the new tank, and oh boy. Oh, she is a wild tank, and there are a lot of things to be said about her. We're going to talk about that later. First of all, let's just talk visuals, get those out of the way before we move to the shooting range. This is what Nyx looks like. She is an Abyss female tank, and in Abyss female fashion, she is scantily clad with two snow globes, smoke bombs, yeah, and wings and horns and stuff, and yeah, is very abyssal. And then we can take a look at her other skins. So Crimson's Queen is just the default kind of, you know, paid for gold skin. It's just a classic recolor. She's red to match Rom. So yeah, if you're ever on a team with Rom, bring this skin out, I guess. Then we have Divine Matriarch, which is the skin I assume will be coming in the Season Pass, and it ties into her lore. Because apparently Nyx was once in the Pyre, and this shows what she looked like in the Pyre. So, very much like Azan. In fact, she has back muscles to rival Azan. Like, dang. And she even has, of course, Azan's wings back here. These are the exact same as Azan's. So, yeah, pretty cool. And then Golden Nyx is just... It's so bright. It feels all over the place. Like, there's too much for the eyes to look at. Like... Default Nyx kind of suffers the same problem because it's all just purple, but I feel like it's a bit easier to look at. With Golden Nyx, it's just like, okay, so we have all this, like, white that's really bright, and then we have all this gold that's shining on top of the white, and, like, it's really, really shiny. And the black placement, I think, is nice, but it's just, like, there's a lot to look at. Ultimately, I think the color of the gold is fine. I think it's a, you know, at least they got the materials right on the gold and black, but yeah, it's just a bit weird. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's certainly not like a bottom tier gold skin or anything. I mean, we have far worse in the game, and so I can't really complain too much about it. And yeah, another fine addition to my collection, I guess. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to... Oh man, I'm gonna have to grind Nyx. Oh man. All right, let's get into how Nyx plays, because oh boy. Oh, I accidentally have the gold skin actually equipped. Well, okay, I guess we're showcasing Golden Nyx then. Hey, you know what? That's actually probably pretty good. Alright, I didn't intend for that, but I guess we'll look. Does she have custom... Oh, no, she doesn't. They're purple. Actually, wait, no, I think they're a lighter purple on default. Actually, that might be custom. I don't know. Anyways, that's her primary fire, so she punches people. Here's a weapon inspector, by the way, too. She is basically just Ray. Like, she does the... Oh, I'm Ray, I'm reloading. Oh. Lovely. But yeah, she has no ammo. She just infinitely punches people in an attack chain. But oh, she only enters the attack chain if you actually hit people. Otherwise, she just constantly jabs like that. So here's how she attacks. Bop, 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 bop. And that entire attack chain did half of Ying's health. Something you're really going to notice quickly on this champion is she does no damage. She is the opposite of Azan, alright? Azan was overpowered on release, and from my initial impressions, and from the impressions other people such as Fishnet have given me, she is... Damage? What's that? I've never heard of her. Damage? That's some other girl. No clue who she is. So yeah, primary attack, very basic. Also, when you're directly really close to someone like this, you get that extra damage. Otherwise, even at this distance, her damage falls off, down to 125. And then she has even further fall off on that.
An extra item or two
like, once we get back here, we're doing significantly less damage, and then we're doing no damage at all. So, you know, at least she doesn't have the Azan problem of having infinite range, right? In fact, it's quite the opposite. She has very short range. And then her right-click ability is basically something where we can charge it up, and the more we charge it up, the farther it goes, and the more damage it does, basically is how you can think of that. And so we can just throw this down. It does a burst of 350, does 50 every half a second for the duration, and then it explodes for a further 200 there. And it also slows them when they're in their radius. So, yeah, we can charge this up, throw it out. And yeah, basically it'll collide with terrain, a player, or it'll just stop once it reaches the end of its travel range. So we can go out here and just kind of throw it like this, and you'll see that it just kind of stops up there. So it does have a finite travel range, and once it reaches that range, it'll explode no matter what. So, yeah, you can't really just snipe someone with this thing, and it also does travel decently slowly. But yeah, you can throw this out, and then just start trying to do some damage. But you'll notice, even with that, oh my god, the time to kill on the Ying is tremendous. It is so long. So, yeah, well, hey, at least she has another damage ability, right? Well, I think we'll get to that next. First, let's check out her shield, because she has a shield. So we can hold this, and we can kind of see where it's going to go. And you'll notice we have a meter on the bottom of our screen. So the farther away we deploy the shield, the less health it has. So if I deploy it all the way over here, you can see it has a minuscule health bar. It has about 1,000 health. I noticed I was playing against a Kinessa, she one-shot that. So it has very little health. But it has a lot of health if we deploy it here, so it's a ranged deploy. And yeah, it's as simple as that, really. It's just a shield with some cool purple visuals. But of course, it just looks like a regular orange shield if you're an enemy trying to fight against it. And yeah, that's about all to be said. Now we can talk about her extra damage ability, which is this. So this is basically a damage aura. We get close to these guys, we will poison them, and you'll notice Fernando is taking more damage than these two. That's because the damage is percent-based. So it poisons them for, I think it's 6 seconds, and yeah, it does 5% of their health. Which is not a lot. It's that much. It's really not a lot of damage. And yeah, the other very cool thing about this is that the way I think of it is like corrupted blood from Path of Exile. I don't know how many Path of Exile players we have, and also I could be misterming it because I'm a witch main in that game. I don't really use the ability, but basically the idea of the ability is burst damage that you take is instead distributed to you over time. So like if I get hit for 1,000 damage, I'm going to take 250 damage every second for 4 seconds. So it redistributes the damage over a longer time, allowing your healers to heal you back more effectively, and also delaying your death. So you'll notice if we go up against these Cassies here, and I just pop this ability and then get shot, you'll see on my health bar down here, yeah, I got shot a bunch, but instead of taking that damage all at once, it went down a lot slower. So that's kind of the other really cool effect of this ability. And yeah, let's address a quick elephant in the room. If you're an Overwatch player, this seems very familiar to some other tank. He just came out. He has a very, very lovely voice. Yeah, she's kind of similar to Ramatra, right? Shield!
The power of a ruler.
This thing! Punch! Ah, look at me! I am Ramatra! Oh! But she's still substantially different in some ways. I mean, this is also kind of similar to his field, to be fair, but it doesn't limit your jump height. Instead, it slows you and does damage. And this thing, obviously, he doesn't have the corrupted blood thing, which I'm always going to call it corrupted blood. I don't care. It's corrupted blood to me. That's its name now. It's not its official name, but it's what I call it. And yeah, also her ultimate is different to Ramatra's as well, because it's more similar to Arisa's, but garbage. So, her ultimate, basically, when I press this, it will kind of draw enemies, like kind of from this distance towards me. It'll do some damage. I think it does 800 in total across all of the attacks, and it'll stun them at the end. And it'll also make her crowd control immune. So yeah, let's just do this.
You can't resist me.
Sucky wucky, do the damage. It does about that much damage, and it stuns them. In actual matches, the stun does not work, and I don't even think it does damage either. So in actual matches, it's bugged, but in the shooting range, it's fine, which is really strange. So, yeah, that's pretty nifty. And also another thing is, if I cast this, and then I cast it to cancel it, it's supposed to pull them near me, but it doesn't pull them near me, so that's bugged too. It's supposed to have like a slight displacement effect. So that's bugged too, and I think it's making her feel a little bit weaker than she should be. But yeah, the ultimate, I feel, even like with the stun, will be a little bit underwhelming, because it seems super easy to run away from it. It doesn't seem like the pull really has that much of an effect at all in real matches. But another interesting thing about the ultimate is that it actually cleanses the corrupted blood effect. So I can take a bunch of damage here and then press the ultimate.
Can't resist me.
And all of that health just disappeared, but I didn't take the damage. That's the key thing. I did not take that damage. So you can use it to kind of just cleanse that damage. If you notice that, like, your entire health bar is just this Corrupted Blood effect because you've taken 5,000 damage, you can use that, cleanse it, and you'll be pretty tanky. So that is one tech to keep in mind. That's pretty cool. And yeah, another thing about these punches is that even though Ramatra can pierce, and in other games like Baruch and Warframe, for example, can pierce with his air punches like this, she cannot. Which, I feel like if she's going to be doing this little damage per shot, would be a fair thing to have. Either buff her damage on a single target, or make it so she can pierce, I would say. Because she really does feel underwhelming in the damage department. Let's use all the abilities, right? Use this, use this.
Double kill. Just can't stay away from 5 more shadows subsumed by the
So low! It's so low! But this is a good thing, alright? Because we don't want to have another Razan on our hands where he gets released into the game in an overpowered state. So I think it's better to start from a position of weakness like this than to start being overpowered. We don't want to push players away by having someone overpowered in the game. We'd rather have them weak on release and then release them in a more buffed state. But yeah, I mean, just to compare... Oops, that's not what I meant to press. Just to compare, like, damage real quick, that was Nyx. And now we can compare Ashe, who is objectively the lowest DPS character in the game, 444 DPS on her primary shots, and we can kill the Victor much faster. Wabam! Use the shoulder bash combo, because we're using abilities, right? And there we go, he died. He actually died faster to Ashe than he did to Nyx. Which is unbelievable. Even without the shoulder bash, we're doing damage to multiple targets. And I think we'd actually kill the Victor a smidge faster with Ashe. Like, it's pretty close. Let's switch back to Nyx. And slap Victor in the forehead. We'll even get really nice and close, although most cases you aren't like this close. I think it's actually faster with Ashe. I think we have a new lowest DPS character in the game. One without a movement ability, mind you. So, yeah, we're definitely starting from a position of weakness here, but again, I would much rather start from that. Also, some of you astute members in the audience might realize that, hey, okay, so Nyx can see her own aura. Did they fix a certain special someone? Well, my friends, my friends, my friends. Yes, 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 they did. They fixed it. They fixed it! Finally! It's been like 6 years! And we can now see Grover's radius. Oh, it's beautiful! It's so beautiful! They fixed it! Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I'm so happy. Also, Deep Roots is still garbage. But at least it changed on the first target now, and you can see the radius again. But it's still garbage. Because, you know, it stays with the enemies. So you gotta get in melee range. Hey, maybe it'd be good with Nyx, question mark. No, it really wouldn't. Don't play Deep Roots. Deep Roots is garbage. Now, real quick before we move on to a few other balance changes, let's quickly go over Nyx's talents. So we have Show of Force, which is, I think, pretty bad. Because it's counterintuitive to the point of the ability. So this makes Rift Slash, which is the ability that you throw out that slows people, knock them back, and the resulting rift lasts 1 second longer. I think it's counterintuitive, because, like, I knock them away from the slow, so they get slowed for less, and also, I'm knocking them back, but I'm a melee character. I want to get this close to them to do damage. This close. I feel like that's really counterintuitive. And this is her starter talent, so your first experience with Nyx, unless you buy the season pass, is going to be this. So I'm not a big fan of this talent immediately off the gate. Next up, we have Abyssal Breach, which seems to be her best talent, although Subjugation just flat out doesn't work right now, so we can't really test it to be sure. In fact, the description isn't even implemented properly. So yeah, Abyssal Breach. Enemies that pass through Abyssal Fortress, which is her shield, are revealed and take 10% additional weapon damage from Nyx and her allies for 3 seconds. And it reduces the cooldown of the shield by 2, so there's a lot. So I can put the shield down on... Okay, I misdeployed that. So we can put the shield down on Victor, right here, you'll see that he has the eye above his head, which means he's revealed, and we do 220 instead of 200. But I started attacking late, so I barely got that. The thing is, even though it buffs Nyx's damage by 10%, 10% of not a lot is still not a lot. So she is not going to be a burst monster with this, and also bear in mind, like, the enemies physically have to walk through the shield. So, like, you would either have to use it in some aggressive way where, like, you throw the shield out at somebody, like, you just forward deploy it to use it as damage ability, in which case you're not using it as much as a defensive ability. Or, like, you're fighting on the point with a tank, you just put it down, they walk through it, and you do this. Ultimately, the damage buff is really going to affect Nyx's fellow DPS more than it is her. Because, like, 10% of Nyx's DPS is horrible, but 10% of Octavia DPS, for example, is going to be insane. So, it's another one of those cases, actually, like Yaggaroth. It reminds me of Yaggaroth, because on her release, if you hit someone with her piercing quills while they were in the acid pool, they would actually take 10% extra damage. So maybe that'll get nerfed and removed too. Probably not. But yeah, the final talent here is supposed to be a root that applies on the first person you hit with the little kill aura thing, and it also has the range increased. But well, the chain pull doesn't work, and it doesn't look like the range really increases all that much, if at all. I can't really tell, and I doubt the talent even works, because it just seems unfinished, which is fair enough. It's the PTS. But yeah, no thoughts on that. A root seems powerful. She would be now the second character in Paladins who can root. Or I guess third. Technically, Octavia's ultimate roots people, too. But yeah, the second person with a common regular ability as a root, right? Ever since Deep Roots got removed, Imani was the only one, but now she would have one, too. But again, specifically only on this talent, so yeah, it's a bit of an interesting idea. Honestly, it would be pretty strong if you could do this to slow somebody, walk at them with this, and then root them in place, and then also take less damage from them over time. You would kind of just win that war of attrition. And so, that potentially sounds strong, but we really have to just see and test. Also, I can't hit this Ying. I actually can't hit this Ying. I'm aiming at her. Hello? Seems like these punches have a pretty big hitbox. Ooh. Wait. That's actually Kasumi's, like, co-aim here. At least it's much more fair on a tank, but, like, that's kind of Kasumi aim. With this level of damage, though, it doesn't matter as much. It's more like Fernando's Flame Lance. Oh, gosh. But yeah, I think I would like to see, like, tiny marginal damage buffs, personally, upon my initial review of this champion, initial experience. But we got to do more testing. It's day 0, so more testing is definitely needed, but yeah, that is Nyx. So now finally let's move on to balance. So there is one major change that just affects every character in the game, and it is especially a huge buff to characters who can kind of fly. So let's pick Buck as our demonstration. Air strafing is now something that is way quicker. How much quicker? Well, take a look at this jump. Whoa! Look at those circles we were able to do. Spinning in a circle, mid-air. Let me kill Ying real quick. Woo! Look at that air control. This is bringing air control back to the days of the beta. Back when Paladins was like 5 years ago when Paladins was in its beta, you were able to jump a lot tighter, and especially you can notice around walls, like it's much easier to peek out and then quickly duck back behind the wall while mid-air. Yeah, it's really noticeable on Buck's Leap, and a few other characters like Dredge with Crow's Nest. So, yeah. Air control is a lot tighter, and it makes Buck feel a lot smoother, but it also makes characters like Seven feel a lot smoother. I actually played him on Serpent Beach, and I'll have a video on that, a stream highlight on that coming out eventually. It feels really good to grapple now. Like, we can do this, and then look at these circles we're able to draw midair. It is so much tighter than it used to be. So this is a major buff to all characters, but especially characters like Seven and Buck. Also, Midair Inaccuracy has been removed on every character. Period. So, yeah, another buff for 7, really. He still has his innate inaccuracy on burst mode, but it's actually a lot easier to do stuff like this now. So, yeah. Characters are going to feel a lot slipperier now. We're kind of trying to restore some of the mobility that Paladins used to have back in the day with this, making air strafing better, and making it so you're not penalized for jumping and, you know, moving around as much. This is ultimately, I think, a really positive change. One that a lot of veterans are going to like, one that I like, one that flank mains are going to like, and one that support mains are going to hate, because flank mains are going to be even stronger now. Oh gosh. Then again, I mean, Buck is still very much a stoppable character. Oh god. I tested this change on Timbermill versus 7 Ray, Saris, and Sati with Buck. Yeah, no, he's by no means OP. But, yeah, these buffs, these indirect buffs, keep making flanks like that stronger. Speaking of flanks being stronger, Kill to Heal got nerfed. Doesn't say it here, but it did. In fact, we can test it real quick. Let's just buy 3 levels of Kill to Heal, come over here, get shot by Cassie, and then kill her. Bink, bink, there we go. 600 healing instead of 750. They need to update the item description, but yeah, Kill to Heal is weaker to compensate for it having crazy anti-cauterize capabilities. And yeah, also Guardian got buffed. Again, it doesn't say it here, but it only got buffed up to 30%, and honestly, Adam, if you're still buying Guardian, stop it. Did I scare you this time? I bet you thought I was going to say Derek again, didn't you? Nah. I need to stop doing that. I'm just being silly. But yeah, let's move on to some of the more mundane and some even questionable balance changes. Dredge got some nice buffs. So, Crow's Nest. I'm still bad at using it, but it actually sends you farther now. They buffed it. Again, card description is not accurate. It still says 900, but it does send you much farther. And also, it of course stacks with the new air control, allowing you to do much tighter curves if you so want, which is very, very nice. But then also, Expansive Vault, now, at level 1, has a minimum of a 2.5 second duration. So we can go in here, and now we have a much longer time to use our Expansive Vault. And I can prove it to you. I'm using Expansive Vault 1. Again, the description is not updated. They basically have not touched the descriptions of these cards and items, but yeah, you can see there we had a much longer duration. Furia got a pretty hefty nerf to her healing output. So she now heals for an 850 burst instead of a 1000 burst, which is pretty substantial when you think about it. That's a lot less healing per burst, and that's her only healing ability, and it's also on a 3-second cooldown. I get that Furia is really strong, but yeah, this is going to turn her into actually probably more of an off support than anything. I don't know if she'll be able to main support with this nerf, especially because I know what you're thinking. Oh, just run Cherish. Well, Cherish also got nerfed. So Cherish now heals 18%, but then also it's healing 18% of, yeah, a worse heal. So we can let Fernando get low here.
You're not done yet.
And even at that level, he's not getting 1000 bursts. 940. That's how little he gets. So it's a pretty substantial nerf. I think they're really trying their hardest to make Solar Blessing meta on Furia, but that's not going to happen. Instead, what you're going to see is Furia's just going to fall out of the meta. Like, you're not going to see a Solar Blessing meta, you're just going to see a not Furia meta, which I guess if they want to force Furia out of the meta, then hey, nerfing her healing pretty hard is going to do that, right? So, yeah, sad change for Furia players. She's, I guess, more of a damage support now than anything. I mean, heck, maybe you'll see more Exterminate Andes running around and just, yeah, doing this sort of thing. Ah, take my beam! Doing a little bit of healing on the side, and then, of course, still using their ultimate, which is, again, still one of the best ultimates in the game. Do you want to see the dumbest change of Season 6? Literally the dumbest change? Pip does 570 damage instead of 600 now. Pip got nerfed. he got a damage nerf at that. Pip, the character who is not at all even remotely close to the meta, only played by niche players who like Pip, and is pretty good in the hands of those players, honestly, but is still not meta. The character who does a lot of healing and not a lot of damage, he does 600 damage per second, that guy? Yeah, he got a damage nerf. And honestly, in most cases, like if I'm just spamming shots at a tank, it's not going to do a lot. But there is one pretty key interaction. This. The chicken survived. 2 shots and a catalyst. Alright, 2 shots and the explosive flask. does not kill the chicken now. That's what this nerf really does. It nerfs his ultimate. And it's unbelievable. Like, I'm kind of lost for words. Like, why? Why? Who asked for this? Why are we nerfing Pip? Why are we nerfing Pip's ultimate just by Resilience 5 head? Like, it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. You want to know something that's even sillier? I can't even really be, like, that mad. But at the same time, I am. So Curse Revolver is gone. Alright? But, you know how people were asking for Darkstalker to come back? Hey, look! They added Darkstalker! It's just... they added the wrong one. We were begging, oh, please add Darkstalker back. Darkstalker, that talent we all fondly remember as the talent that separated his dashes into 3 separate abilities, like Vatu's dashes, that talent? Completely forgetting that there was another Darkstalker that does this, which is basically Curse Revolver, but, like, different. No DOT, instead it's just more damage on low HP targets. They added Darkstalker. I mean, they listened. They listened to us. They added Darkstalker back. But at the same time, they totally misinterpreted what we meant by that. We meant the other Darkstalker. And also, it doesn't work on the PTS. They haven't implemented it yet. It's still just Curse Revolver, but I assume that'll be fixed before it goes into live. But okay. Like, on the one hand, I can't be mad because, like, yeah, okay, they added Darkstalker back, but at the same time, like, oh, you just don't get it. You just don't get it, do you? But ultimately, I want to see the Andrew rework completely reverted because I'm not going to rant about this. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. Hey, look, I'm not on my horse. Hey, look, now I'm on my horse. Yeah, that's a thing. There's also a cooldown on it. I'm spamming the ability right now, and only now do I get my horse back. But apparently, remounting is a thing now? I thought this was a bug at first. Yeah, I was under the impression that they bugged it somehow, but no, apparently this is actually a feature that's coming. And I don't get why. It's certainly interesting, but I'm not entirely sure why they did that. Like, I guess it makes master writing even stronger, right? Because if you can just use that mid-match now, yeah, that's certainly very strong. Oh my gosh. I finally killed the bot Azon. There we go. But yeah, that's the thing. So, yay. Now, as far as I'm aware, that is basically it for the balancing. Now, there could have been something that just kind of slipped through the cracks, something subtle that I missed. The patch notes are kind of out, and we can see them, but they're incomplete. A lot of the pictures aren't even loading, so there's, yeah, like we can only see 3 champion balance changes here. So yeah, the patch notes are a bit sketch right now. But yeah, one really major last thing. All right, I saved the best for last. To recover from the disappointment of pip nerfs and Darkstalker implementations, we have the savior of Season 6, all right? If you thought everything that you've seen up to, until now was bad or mid or whatever, you're gonna love this, all right? Payload is back. Payload is back. You can't play it yet, though. You can't play it yet. That's the thing. The way they implemented it is a bit strange. I guess what they're doing right now is they're testing it as a limited time mode and not making it a technically permanent game mode, but they're effectively sort of making it permanent in a weird way. So for all weekdays in which a weekend limited time mode is not active, basically Monday through Thursday, all right, because Friday the limited time mode comes around, from 8 a.m. Monday till Friday at midnight Eastern time, Payload will be active in the limited time slot instead. Return to maps like Ice Push, Outpost, and Jungle. Oh my god. The old maps. The old maps. That that I remember so fondly. That we remember so fondly. Us veterans. Oh my god. We get to visit those again. We get to play on those again. We get to play the game mode that's better than every game mode in this game except Siege. We get to play that game mode again. And it's going to be available most days of the week. Hopefully, this will become a permanent fixture. And if we want them to make it a permanent fixture, we got to show them that we love it, alright? We got to play this game mode. Like, we got to make this more popular than Onslaught. Honestly, kill the Onslaught queue. Play Payload instead. I think TDM queue is probably already dead. I don't even play that mode anymore. Yeah, oh my god. I am so excited. But yeah, it's Friday right now. Actually, Saturday, technically, as I record this, because it's that late at night. So, you know. It's not here yet. But, oh my god. I cannot wait until Monday. When Monday comes, I guarantee you, I will be checking the PTS, and if Payload is here, I am streaming Payload for hours. It's what we've been waiting for. It took long enough, but it's finally coming back around. So, if you thought Nyx was bad, alright? If you don't like Nyx, if you'd rather go play Overwatch, play Remounting instead, you know, that's, yeah, understandable. If you thought the skins were mid, as I do for most of them, fair enough. If you thought the balance was bad, fair play. But, you can't argue. This is a tremendous achievement and an amazing change, and yeah, I hope it goes from a limited time mode to a permanent mode, man. That's the goal, right? And that is definitely the biggest thing coming to Season 6 that I am super, super excited for. So, yeah, absolutely cannot wait for that. Like, if anything else, like, forget the rest of the patch. That's what we're here for. So, yeah, that about does it for at least what I am aware of in Season 6 so far. We got a new UI, new tank, a very questionable balance, including some very nice changes to Midair Strafing and Midair Inaccuracy. We got some skins, most of which are mid. No gold skins, sadly. And my god, it's back. Payload is back. That is the big takeaway from Season 6. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this summary, very long summary of Season 6, then make sure to drop a like. I will be making a ton of PTS content up here in the future. You'll be seeing a ton of games from me, a ton of coverage of skins, and even some Nyx gameplay, of course, as well, testing her out in real matches. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. I can speak English, I promise. Follow me over on Twitch. I'll be streaming most of it live, and yeah, it's a great place to be. Also check out Discord if you want to party up with friends, meet friends, play Paladins, do all that sort of thing. And yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'm very sleepy. I'm going to go edit this video and then go to bed. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out.
Okay.